In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on December 18, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Xavier versus Connecticut. It's the opening matchup of the Big East Conference as Xavier travels to face the number 11 Connecticut Huskies on Wednesday, December 18th. Xavier enters the game with an overall record of 8-3, but their recent form has been shaky, having dropped 3 of their last 5 contests. Meanwhile, Connecticut, after enduring a tough stretch in the Maui Invitational with 3 consecutive losses, has turned things around. They've rebounded impressively with 4 straight victories, including significant wins against top-tier opponents Gonzaga and Baylor. The Big East schedule officially kicks off on Wednesday, with Connecticut hosting Xavier in what promises to be a pivotal conference matchup. The Big East is known for its unpredictability, and Connecticut has managed to regain its footing after a disappointing showing in Maui. Their current 4-game winning streak includes impressive victories over Gonzaga and Baylor, showcasing their ability to bounce back. In contrast, Xavier has struggled to find consistency, losing 3 of their last 5 games. The Musketeers have yet to demonstrate they can contend with elite teams, particularly in hostile environments. With momentum firmly on their side and the advantage of playing at home, the Huskies are a formidable force. Connecticut's dominance at home is reflected in their 5-1 record against the spread when playing in their arena, further solidifying their reputation as tough competition on their court. Xavier's offense has been underwhelming on the road, managing just 68.5 points per game even with their leading scorer in the lineup. Without Fremantle, their offensive struggles are likely to intensify. Connecticut's defense, especially at home, is one of the nation's most stifling, allowing just 54 points per game. This defensive strength significantly limits opponents' opportunities for second chance points, putting additional pressure on Xavier's already faltering offense. The Musketeers have also struggled to defend the perimeter and tend to give up a high number of free throw attempts. Connecticut's offense, ranked as the 4th most efficient in the nation by Ken Palm, doesn't require much help, especially at home, where they average an impressive 88 points per game. While there is always the potential for a letdown game after emotional wins over teams like Gonzaga and Texas, Connecticut has shown no signs of slowing down. This is a well-coached team that has consistently delivered both straight-up wins and covers going back to the past 2 seasons. Even after navigating a challenging schedule that included matchups against Baylor, Texas, and Gonzaga, the Huskies have maintained their high level of play. Meanwhile, Xavier is coming off a physical and taxing game against their in-state rivals, Cincinnati. The Musketeers' offensive output has been erratic, making them an unreliable contender in this matchup. Connecticut, on the other hand, continues to cover spreads, making the Connecticut Huskies to win and cover the spread as favorites our full game side pick. Connecticut's pace of play, ranking 309th in adjusted tempo according to Ken Palm, will dictate the flow of the game, favoring a slower, more deliberate style. This is problematic for a Xavier team that struggles offensively on the road, averaging just 68.5 points per game. The Musketeers will also be without their leading scorer, further diminishing their chances of keeping up offensively. On the other side, Connecticut has only surpassed 77 points once in their last 6 games, indicating that while their defense is elite, their offensive output might not reach high-scoring levels in this matchup. Xavier's strength lies in their defensive rebounding and ability to force turnovers, which could disrupt Connecticut at times, although likely not enough to shift the game's outcome. Betting trends also support a low-scoring affair. The under has hit in 8 of Xavier's 11 games this season, including a 3-0-1 record when they've played on the road. Connecticut's home games have also leaned toward the under, with a 4-2 record. Both teams rank relatively low in tempo, with Connecticut at 309th and Xavier at 111th in adjusted tempo. Given these factors, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Toledo versus Houston. The Toledo Rockets, who currently hold a 6-4 record, are preparing to face their most challenging matchup of the season this Wednesday when they travel to take on the heavily favored Houston Cougars, who stand at 6-3. This game marks a critical test for Toledo as they aim to rebound from recent struggles and compete against a tough opponent on the road. Both teams have shown flashes of strength this season, but Houston enters this matchup as the clear favorite. Toledo suffered a disappointing 93-87 loss to Youngstown State on Saturday. This defeat added to a recent slump for the Rockets as they have dropped 3 of their last 4 games. Despite their offensive capabilities, Toledo has struggled to maintain consistency on both ends of the floor, which has hampered their ability to secure victories in tightly contested matchups. Houston, on the other hand, comes into this game with a 6-3 straight-up record, matching Toledo in their performance against the spread at 4-5 and sitting at 4-5 on over-under totals. The Cougars recently secured a dominant 62-42 win over Troy on December 10th, showcasing their strong defensive prowess. Over their last 5 games, Houston holds a 3-2 record, with their losses coming against formidable opponents such as San Diego State and Alabama. This consistency against competitive teams underscores Houston's potential to shine in high-stakes games. Historically, the Cougars have prevailed in their meetings with Toledo, winning both previous matchups. However, they have struggled against the spread in those games, going 0-1-1. Statistically, Toledo boasts a superior offense, averaging 4 points more per game than Houston. Meanwhile, the Cougars are notably stronger on defense, allowing an impressive 21 fewer points per game compared to Toledo. Houston has been winning games by an average margin of 21 points this season, while Toledo's average winning margin stands at just 4 points. While Houston is deservedly the favorite heading into this matchup, the spread may overestimate the gap between these two teams. Toledo's offensive efficiency and superior field goal percentage make them a dangerous underdog, and Houston's recent struggles against the spread, going just 1-4 in their last 5 games, further suggests this game could be closer than expected. Therefore, the Toledo Rockets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Toledo's style of play relies heavily on their high-tempo offense, as they rank 85th in schedule-adjusted pace and place among the top 100 teams in offensive efficiency. This fast-paced approach will likely force the slower-paced Cougars into a higher possession game, particularly during stretches of the first half. Such an uptick in pace should create ample scoring opportunities for both teams. However, Toledo's defense remains a major concern, especially on the perimeter, where they have struggled to contain opposing shooters. As the game progresses and fatigue sets in, particularly in the second half, the Rockets may find it increasingly difficult to keep up defensively. Houston, meanwhile, has had an extended break to prepare for this game and should be energized for a strong performance at home. This matchup serves as a critical non-conference tune-up for the Cougars ahead of the holidays and the start of conference play. Considering both teams' tendencies and the dynamics of the game, the total points scored are likely to exceed the projected number. Therefore, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Gonzaga versus Nicholls State. The Nicholls Colonels will face the Gonzaga Bulldogs on Wednesday in an intriguing college basketball matchup at the McCarthy Athletic Center. Both teams come into this contest with very different recent trajectories, promising an exciting clash. Nicholls enters the game riding a 5-game winning streak, highlighted by a dominant 110-66 blowout victory over Southern New Orleans. Gonzaga, on the other hand, is eager to bounce back after enduring 2 consecutive narrow defeats, including a 90-89 overtime thriller against Kentucky and another hard-fought loss to Connecticut. Nicholls has been impressive of late, securing wins against Louisiana and New Orleans. Looking ahead, the Colonels are set to face Seattle, Northwestern State, and East Texas Agricultural and Mechanical in their upcoming schedule. Conversely, Gonzaga's recent challenges against elite opponents like Kentucky and Connecticut underscore their strength of schedule. The Bulldogs are now preparing for matchups against Bucknell, UCLA, and Pepperdine in their next slate of games. This matchup presents an opportunity for Gonzaga to reset and refocus after tough battles with high-caliber teams. While it might initially seem like a potential trap game, it's also a prime chance for the Bulldogs to release some pent-up frustration from their recent losses. There's a notable disparity in talent between these two squads, and Nicholls has shown vulnerabilities against teams with much less firepower than Gonzaga. A dominant win, potentially by 50 points, wouldn't come as a surprise in this scenario. The question is whether Nicholls can generate enough offense to even keep the game competitive. While the betting line may seem steep, It's hard to see another outcome beyond a commanding Gonzaga victory, so the Gonzaga Bulldogs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Statistically, the Nicholls Colonels are averaging 75 points per game while shooting 42.6% from the field, and they are giving up 66 points per game on 38.9% shooting. From three-point range, the Colonels are converting 30.5% of their attempts but are struggling at the free throw line, hitting only 64.6%. On defense, Nicholls is limiting opponents to 27.1% shooting from deep while pulling down 36.4 rebounds per game. Meanwhile, the Gonzaga Bulldogs boast an explosive offense, averaging 88 points per game on an efficient 48.5% shooting. Offensively, they are allowing 70 points per game on 41.4% shooting. Gonzaga has been solid from beyond the arc, hitting 33.9% of their three-point attempts, and excellent at the charity stripe, converting 80.8% of their free throws. They are also holding opponents to just 24.5% shooting from three-point range while matching Nicholls in rebounds with an average of 36.4 per game. Considering these factors, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.